Hi everyone, Chris England here. My voice has been a little bit troublesome for the last couple of days, so I've been avoiding recording this, which I really wish I had done. Just said I'll do it right then and there, and then hope for anything more. Once again, it's time to vote for the Choose Your Legend 7. Now, a lot of people are suggesting a lot of like Fates characters. I'm gonna probably push for who I won't vote for, and then whatever choices that I suggest as like my top three picks, as well as any honorable mentions. So the first thing is who I won't vote for is any unit that has a number of units equal to or greater than number of the anniversary. And the two examples I give are Xander and Azura. Both of them have 6 units exactly, and it is currently approaching the 6th anniversary. So what we will have is cases where people will say, "Oh, Azura definitely deserves to win." Um, I do feel like there are certain other options that definitely have more value to the game than just giving Azura a Brave Alt. And then the other thing that I'm going to say is most units from Three Houses and Hopes, and I use Byleth and Hilda as they are two of the characters that are seem to be the more popular ones without any Brave units. We already have Edelgard, Dimitri, female Byleth, Claude. We have Lysithia, Marianne, Gatekeeper. We have a pretty good amount of units that were included as Braves. To this date, Three Houses is the only game to have more than 5 units in any voting thing, or more than that, more than any other game in general. So I say most units because I personally chose the third one as a different choice, as a specific reason for that. And number three would be the exception, which is Dorothea. So I like the design that they gave character. She's a unit currently stuck in seasonal hell or heck or whatever you want to put it, but she's still stuck in the seasonal pool. She hasn't had a very long difference between any of her actual alts. The most being either the 6 month because of the Three Houses craze, and then we get to Three Hopes, and it's about a year, maybe 2 years difference. Three separate units for herself, nothing in normal pool. And the other thing is that gaining a normal pool alt will complete a Dorothea emblem. And the other thing is that she's known for being a dancer. And while all of her units are dancers, the closest thing we have to swords is the summer dagger version, which is very, very, I won't say poor, but I will say needs work. You have her harmonic with Lene, and then you have her Christmas version, the one that just came out. All of them are very, very strong in their own right. Definitely the summer version needs work. But I would also like to see some units that have multiple versions of themselves that are still stuck in seasonal be moved out of that pool. And probably another one that I did not put because I was more focused on like units that have no alts is Grail. And Grail is a unit that has been stuck in seasonal prison for the longest time, yet has had no sign of ever coming back, even as a fallen unit, which we've had plenty of those. Next up is number 2, the Uncrowned King, and that is Reinhardt. So one of the big things I've seen a lot of people say is that Reinhardt is one of the mainstays of the entire series. I'd say, at least I personally think so. I don't think that he's one of the most important characters, that being kind of left to the any original characters. But he's one of the premier units in Fae, going from being an enemy commander in his own game to one of the best year one units, even getting the first free 5-star slot for new players. So as you complete missions, the first 5-star that you get is Reinhardt. He has 3 alts like Dorothea, and only his newest one is the only one that is a seasonal. But he hasn't had anything done to him for the last 3 to 4 years. With the last one being, I believe, in what, like 2019. Yet in the last 50 of the he's in the last five Choose Your Legends, he's consistently hit beyond top 50. And he's also got a very good balance in terms of his original being like just about a little bit more than a year. Then you got about close to a year and a half, but they haven't touched him beyond for the last three or 4 years, and I think that that is a very surprising choice. Now, this is before I'm watching the Desert banner. I want to try saving myself as much as possible for that, but I have a feeling that based on what I saw from like a specific video, I don't think they're going to hit him. Some honorable mentions will include Olwen. Olwen is one of the Olwen, like her brother, would be the first Thracia unit to be available as a brave. As the other thing about that one is that Thracia has had not a single vote for in the last in every single one of them. We just got Seliph as a genealogy, which means that genealogies was 6. I also think that in general, Olwen got kind of more screwed up than her brother, just because she didn't get the original version was the only unit of her that actually has a brave weapon. The second version of herself, the Green Tome, which came along with Reinhardt's sword version, has a blade tome with a refine that kind of crapped out in general. So I would say that if they were to put her in the game again, they would have to give her something that like maybe is a faux phase brave weapon. I'm personally the next ones are all GHBs, as I have been very interested in seeing a villain actually win this one. I'm not going to vote for a villain because I've already started to vote for my specific one. But like both Berkut and Arvis have very interesting backstories. One thing about Berkut is that he actually does consistently break the top hundreds, so he does have a very good chance of winning. Arvis, I feel like he's one of those cases where he's abandoned by the game, but they really don't have a good reason to abandon him. It's the same thing with Lloyd and Linus. So far out of the Four Fangs, only Jafar, the only recruitable one, and Ursula, the only female one, have actually gotten any alts. And I saw her alt for the Sage of Caden banner. I think that Lloyd is more interesting for a choice just because he got screwed out of everything in general. His refine is grossly inadequate for what he can do, and even high investment builds are very hard to work with. At least I believe so. So these are some honorable mentions, but I think the biggest one would be Toma Akagi and Kane from the TMS series. And the reason I say that is because he's one of the only 2 playable Mirage Masters in TMS or Sharp Fey that was never placed in Fey for some reason. You had the Eleanor, Kiria, Subasa, and Memori. Along with Itsuki being a Tempest trial, but they oddly never created a GHB that would either be Yashiro or Kane, and then they could have also done a freebie for that one. So one of the biggest things is that he would also be the first TMS character to win a CYL banner, as well as being the first hero from a non-mainline Fire Emblem game to win. And by that I mean that he's not part of any of the main series, the series that have like so much attention: Three Houses, Fates, Awakening, Shadow Dragon, Blazing and Binding Blades, Sacred Stones. He's not a part of any of those. And then the other thing is that, like Berkut, he has actually been placing within the top 100. Within the last 2 years, he's gone from 94th to 39th place. But I think the biggest thing for me in general for what Kane offers is if a TMS character wins, we may have more options for other non-mainline series. I know that a lot of people have wanted to see Cypher cards be put into this game, but for some reason, IS doesn't want to touch them with a 10-foot pole. I have no idea really why. I do kind of understand why they say that, but at the same time, I think that there's way too much potential that they're avoiding simply for whatever reason that they're avoiding it for. I understand if it's like they can't do it because of copyright or they can't do it because they don't own the cards anymore, the card game's dead. It would be the same kind of thing if you did like with Weiss where they only print the set for a certain period of time. That being the set's popularity. But the other, so I think the reason that a lot of, like, I originally compared Toma to Azura. Azura is another Fates unit. We have Kamala as the first Fates unit to ever be put in. We have Marianne as a pseudo dancer, and she's wearing what could be considered the dancer clothing. But the other thing is that she's a main character, and that's what really makes me think, why would I want to vote another main character as a CYL? Because so far, the only non-main characters that we've had, as in main characters are, you see them for like a bit in any game, and then that's it. The only ones that we see are Tiki, Gatekeeper, Marianne, and Lysithea. Lysithea you do see every now and then in her route, but she is replaced if she dies. Now, I'm not sure what they would consider Toma and Kane for this case, but the big thing is that I feel like Azura has less intrinsic value to what the game can become or what can be added to the game than Toma and Kane could. So thank you very much for watching. Once again, I realize that this is like right in the middle of this voting booth. It's the third day out of 7. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to change that many minds. I mean, if I do, that'd be great. But you could also apply this to year 8. And hopefully, and one thing that I will add for year 8 is because I will never vote for an engaged character. I never want to see anything like what happened when 3 Houses first appeared and we had the entire booth just say, you know what, we're going to go 3 Houses all the way. It's something that actively did change the face of CYL forever, because originally it was like maybe one unit per game per slot, because you never had anything that duped. You might have had games that had consistent win rates, like with Blazing Blade, you had them winning all throughout years 1 through 3 with Lynn, Hector, and then Elliewood. But once 3 Houses hit, there has never been, the only streak that we have is 3 Houses. And the other thing is that 3 Houses has taken two years where they take the majority of everything, and the other specific year was where they swept. So hopefully we do not see anyone vote. Hopefully we don't see another year with Engage where every single Brave unit is Engage. But that's my personal viewpoint. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what I make, please consider subscribing.